Right, so it's a new day and it's a much nicer day today. The sun's out. It's a bit windy as well, not as windy. Just struggled to turn around there. Couldn't do it the normal way around. We had to go backwards into the winding arm. Just because it was so shallow and overgrown at the back, the rudder was getting stuck. So,
yeah, the rudder was getting stuck, but they've asked for it to be cleared out. CRT can't because the bank belongs to somebody else.
Again.
I said, if I lived here, mate, I'd cut it back myself, but I don't.
Yeah, so anyway, the guy came out and helped us out. Yeah, lovely night there. No trouble whatsoever, it's all locked up. So yeah, safe. And it was alright, yeah. But yeah, I pushed the boat around with the barge pole and that did the job. Because the bow is higher than the engine because there's a lot more weight on the engine end of the boat. And it slopes up like that. Anyway, it's about 9 o'clock. Got a long day ahead of us today. 28 locks to do by myself. It's going to be fun.
Josh has got 6 locks to do, plus 20.
Yeah. 22. Plus 22.
Bloody hell, Josh. Roger!
Yeah, I got my first 3 locks in a minute to get back down on the new main line. And then we got Farmers Lane Bridge locks again, 13 there. We've done those before. And then we'll be going up Ashton flight of 7.
The Burnham trees are lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we've got Camp Hill, which is 5. And then there's a facilities point at the top of Camp Hill, get some water. And then about 7 miles to Catherine Dee Barnes. Anyway, let's get on with it then, shall we? So this, of course, is the canal map of the UK. Everything in red is what we've cruised. Now we're here on the BCN at the engine arm. We'll be making our way off the engine arm, down the 3 Smethwick locks, down to the new main line, skipping out the loops sadly this time, heading to Old Turn Junction and then down the Farmers Bridge locks of 13, before making our way to the Ashted locks of 6. We'll then end this video at the bottom of Camp Hill locks. First hard manoeuvre of the day. Such a weird but cool feeling going over another canal on an aqueduct. While Dad made the tricky and tight manoeuvre to get around to the Smethwick locks, I went and set them. We're gonna have another breach in a minute. Fucking front doors have come open now. Need to lock them. But there's something I've been wondering about narrowboat Olive, is the fact that it's 69.5 foot. But does that include the fenders? Because the front one is 6 inches, which makes it 70 foot. And then the back one is about 2, which would make it about 72 foot. And this makes sense because a few locks were actually a bit too long to get out of.
God, that's heavy.
Going down the slip road now and joining the motorway of the new main line. It is like that when you come off these little arms. It's like a motorway, wide and straight and deep.
There's another bit up there.
This is back on the main line.
Blown everywhere. Look.
Yeah.
Should be getting something soon for that. Getting up all the drink.
Looks like one of the few surviving factories along this stretch. I mean, it would have been absolutely littered with factories. This is one of the last ones, I guess.
Little one, that is.
There would have been like a big zigzag loop here, but it's been lost to time, and this is where it would have come out on the left, and it would have gone through there on the right. And that still does go a little way. I don't know if you can actually go down there, but I wouldn't want to try. Oh, gold. Yeah. It's an old sunken boat down there.
Like the last one.
Yes, I know we're technically supposed to take the right hand side one, but Dan's driving and he's so laid back when he drives. But there's no boats here, so it doesn't really matter. The old main line would have come back across here, as you can see, and this part actually still does exist, and you can go down there and it will take you back onto the new main line. And there are much more interesting routes through there, but they take a lot longer, and we will do them when we come back through. There was some guy randomly playing the trumpet on the side of the canal, and he thought it sounded like this. But he actually sounded like this. Sounds like a dying horse.
Oh, it's going again now. Is anyone?
Doves as well, lovely.
I think it was.
Okay, so that loop would have come out here, and it actually crosses the new main line and continues in another loop. And I'll show you the exit to that other loop in a minute. And this is the exit to that other loop, and it's amazing to me that these loops still survive to this day. Again, Dad went for the path of least resistance, because if we went through the other side, it would line us for the loop, but we don't want to do that loop. Here we saw a water bus stop, which is insane. Not much point really when you can walk fast on the boat. And here we are back at the Old Turn Junction. We're going to be heading this way along the Birmingham Fazeley, down the Farmers Bridge locks again. That way of course takes you to the North Stratford and the Worcester and Birmingham Canal. When we got to Farmers Bridge locks, I was quite surprised to see that the first lock was on our side, but I could see the next few weren't. But then not even before we can get into the second lock, I look back and see this. There was an ABC hire boat directly behind us. But then my knights in shining armour turned up. CRT volunteers. Slowly, one after the other, we lost our volunteers until we were left with one.
Apparently it's a really busy day today. And there's 2 new starters, volunteer starters. I was like really surprised to see volunteers even on this flight, you know, it's so quiet. He said usually it's 2 boats a day. Today it's been 6, now 8 boats. Picked the busiest day. 4 boats down, 2 up.
How did a pair of Bluetooth headphones end up there in the weir?
Hooray, one returns. ABC's in the lock behind us now. We've caught up.
And now I was all on my own. I thought they couldn't have been all helping the ABC. There must have been another boat coming down.
That's where the volunteers went. There's 3 more boats coming down behind us. And guess what? They're all going the same way as us. 8 boats down today, they had 1 boat up. Yeah, and he says there's average 2 boats a day. So unfortunately, yeah, picked the wrong day to do this, but we are ahead of the pack. We've been windswept again, look at this.
And with us coming out the last lock of the flight, the ABC was right on our tail. You have to enjoy this GoPro footage for a while because I had to go inside and make some lunch quickly while we had a little bit of break between the locks. That way continues down the Birmingham Fazeley Canal, which was where we came up last time. Little did I know, and lucky we didn't go that way. The day before, one of the locks broke down on that flight, which might explain why everyone's going this way. We're now on to the Digbeth branch line, completed in 1799. It provided a route for traffic between the main line of the Birmingham Fazeley Canal to the Grand Union Canal, or at the time the Warwick of Birmingham Canal. It's kind of strange coming straight out of a lock into a tunnel. I can't think of another place this situation has happened at.
So much redevelopment.
And just like clockwork, the ABC boat is right on our tail. With a crew of 3, I'm going to struggle to keep ahead of them all on my own, especially in the fact that the flight is against me, so I have to go ahead and set the next lock first. Yeah, sideways. How am I supposed to operate the lock with that there? What the hell are they doing? I had a chat for the guys and they were working on behalf of the HS2, and they said just give us 5 minutes. I said don't worry, I'm going to be about 5-10 minutes anyway before I get to the point where I'm going to have to ask you to move. Thing is, it'll be alright if it was actually on the CRT website that this was happening, but it wasn't. And this is where a massive viaduct will go over for the HS2 into Birmingham.
Obviously they don't understand how it works. How ironic. The one lock I do both paddles, and this one's broken. Oh, there's enough of them. Really?
And that goes down to the Typhoon Basin, where obviously the Typhoon factory used to be back in the day. But Roger has warned me of that and not to go down. This is the Warwick Bar, which used to be a physical gap between the Grand Union and the Digbeth branch of the Birmingham Canal. The two canals were built by different companies, of course, and they didn't want to share water, so they would transship the goods between the canals. Later the companies thankfully agreed to build a stop lock, and that's what this is. And now we have reached the bottom of Cab Hill Locks, and this is where we're going to end today's video, because they're going to split it in two, so stay tuned for the second part. Thank you very much for watching, give it a like, subscribe, and we'll see you then, bye bye.